Okay. Very good morning. Very good evening to all of you. I don't think anybody has joined yet. Many had messaged me, ma'am, you are keeping a demo lecture on Ganpati Visarjan Day. So how will we join? So I was like, I've already made the announcement. You can watch the recording later. But yes, we can see many students have joined in spite of Ganesh Visarjan. Hi, good evening, everyone. Good evening. Mudarish Sheikh. Okay. Good evening. Those who are not able to watch the live lecture can watch the recording later. This will be available. Today, anyways, being Visarjan Day, I am not starting anything new, but I will inform you about our approach, and we will do one very small introduction of the Contract Act. Okay. So today you will get an idea on how to study, how to write the questions, what is going to be our approach in these live sessions. So let us go through what we are going to discuss first, because many students were like, ma'am, we want to join, but we would like to know how you are going to take the lecture. So just to give you a brief idea, students, these are the notes which you will get for the live batch. Okay, so this is an exam oriented live batch for CA Foundation December 23. My only aim is to give you maximum writing practice. Okay, the main aim of this batch is going to give you maximum writing practice, and you will do that in the class itself. There will be live test. Okay, I will explain how we are going to conduct the lectures. These are going to be live lectures on my platform, which has Zoom integrated in it. I had requested my developer that I want Zoom. Why? Because I don't want it to be a one-way traffic where I am talking and students are only listening. They are not able to interact with me. I didn't want that. I want that students should be able to ask doubts, just like how we do it in our live sessions. I've been doing this since the beginning. I ask questions to the students, they reply, and that is how we proceed. So even in my live lectures, I wanted a very interactive platform wherein students can raise their queries, where students can ask doubts, where you can get clarity on the concept. Okay. So these live lectures are going to be on my platform, which has Zoom integrated into it. You will also get a backup. Okay, you will get a backup of these recordings so that you can watch them later, you can revise them, or suppose you miss a particular lecture, you always have the recording which you can watch at your own time. Now, what is going to be our approach? So students, these are the notes that you will get. So first we have discussed the syllabus with you. Then the June 23 exam paper is given, which we will discuss in the end. Okay, we will discuss the June 23 exam paper also after we finish the entire revision. Then we are going to start with the Indian Contract Act 1872. Okay, Contract Act is the most important act of your syllabus because it carries maximum weightage. Okay, so you can expect somewhere around 15 to 20 marks of questions from Contract Act, and Contract Act is the base for all the other acts. So we are going to start with Contract Act. Now there are so many students who message me, ma'am, we have not yet completed our syllabus. We just joined, we took admission, we enrolled with ICI, we have just joined, we have not even completed our syllabus. Can we still join the exam oriented batch? Yes, you can, because we are going to discuss the entire syllabus. Each and every concept will be covered from exam point of view. This is a revision batch. Doesn't mean that I'm not going to cover some concepts because it is not important. No, each and every concept will be covered. Okay, so we will start with the Indian Contract Act, and in these demo lectures also I will start with the Indian Contract Act 1872. These are the notes which you will get for the live exam oriented batch for CA Foundation. Okay, so this is a list of section numbers, and during my lectures I will give you a story to remember these section numbers. Okay, I will teach you how to remember the section numbers in a story format. Okay, so first we are going to learn the section numbers. I will train you on how to remember these sections in a story format. So that we are going to do first. So this is an exhaustive list of all the section numbers. Okay, so this is a list, and in Contract Act you have up to section 75. We are going to discuss every section in the exam oriented batch, but we will do it quickly. Okay, we will do it quickly. We will complete everything in 15 days time. So first you will get a list of the section numbers, and I will also give you a story format for remembering these section numbers. It is already covered in my podcast also. We discuss the story in my podcast, and I will also train you on how to, learn the section numbers. Okay, now for every chapter, okay, for every unit, I will always start with what are the type of questions that will be asked from this side. I will give you an idea on what are the types of questions asked from this chapter. Okay, so these are the notes which you will get in the exam oriented batch for CA Foundation. What kind of questions can be asked? Okay, so first we will make a note, like to give you an example. When we discuss the first unit, that is nature of contract, ideally speaking, not many questions have been asked from this particular unit because it is just an introduction. But even then, there are certain concepts on which very frequently questions have been asked, only on that particular concept. So first, I will give you an idea on what type of questions will be asked in the exam. So from this chapter, generally, case-based questions are asked. Now, if you go through my book, first, I have discussed what are the essential elements of a contract. And after that, I have discussed the classification of contracts. So here also in my revision session, I have followed the same format as my regular lectures. In this particular chapter, that is Unit 1A, Nature of Contract, we will discuss the essential elements of contract and the types of contract. You may feel that this is slightly different from the module, but this is how I approach. I first give you an idea on what are the elements of a contract, and then we discuss the types of contracts. So generally, case-based questions are asked from this unit, Nature of Contracts. However, difference between questions are also asked. Okay, so type of questions are the difference between questions which are asked on classification of contract. So in every lecture, okay, before we start any unit, you will get an idea on what kind of questions are asked, which questions are asked on the on certain areas. Like to give you an example, questions from this chapter are asked on the concept of enforceability. Okay, concept of enforce. This is just to give you an example. Today, I'm not going to teach you anything. It is just to give you an idea on how we are going to approach from the next batch. Why I am not teaching anything today? Because you don't have these notes. Okay, I will provide these notes to you so that you take a printout and you are ready with these notes for the next lecture. Okay, now concept of enforceability. All right, so yes, questions are asked on concept of enforceability. Man, what kind of questions are asked on enforceability? Do you remember that in case of commercial transactions, okay, there is a presumption that parties intend to create legal relation, whereas in case of social or domestic agreements, there is no such presumption. So questions are framed on concept of enforceability in case of a commercial transaction, or basically social or domestic agreements. There is no enforceability, there is a presumption. So questions are basically asked on this concept. Then case-based question can be asked on legal formalities. See, to make a valid contract, there are certain legal formalities which are to be complied with, like certain contracts are expected to be in writing. Okay. See, oral contracts are also valid, but law has specified that contracts relating to transfer of immovable property, contracts relating to gift deed, they have to be in writing, they have to be registered also. Certain contracts need attestation, stamping. So these are legal formalities. If there are legal formalities, you need to comply with them. If there are no legal formalities, you can make the contract in a manner that you wish. Even oral contracts are valid. So on this element of legal formalities, case-based question has been asked in the past and it can be asked. It's a very small concept in your study material, but yes, questions can be asked on legal formalities. Then there is one more concept of certainty of meaning. Okay, certainty of meaning. Section 29. In a contract, the terms must be certain. Okay, if the terms are uncertain, then it is not a valid contract. So the terms must be certain, definite, and not vague. So what are the keywords over here? The terms must be certain, they must be definite, and not vague. So these are the keywords. So in the session, we are also going to highlight the keywords. Okay, so certain, definite, and not vague, these are the keywords. I will, when we go through the text, I will make you highlight the keywords also. Okay, so this is one important point on which questions are generally asked. Case-based question is asked on implied contract. Do you remember in my lecture, I had discussed the example of a coolie? Okay, so a coolie, he picks up your luggage, you also allow him. Then he asks you for money, you said, no buddy, thank you, meet me next time. You can't say just thank you and leave, na? तो उसने अगर आपको सर्विसेज दिए हैं तो ही एक्सपेक्ट्स टू बी पेड फॉर इट, आपने भी उसको नहीं रोका. सो इट्स एन इम्प्लाइड कॉन्ट्रैक्ट. ये पर्टिकुलर पार्ट पे क्वेश्चंस आते हैं. सो इंपॉर्टेंट इज इम्प्लाइड कॉन्ट्रैक्ट एंड ऑल द क्वेश्चंस हैव नॉट बीन आस्क्ड. लेकिन ये जो सेक्शन है ये आपको आपके आंसर में लिखना पड़ता है. दैट इज व्हाई यू नीड टू नो दिस सेक्शन 65. सो हर चैप्टर के हर यूनिट के स्टार्टिंग में मैं आपको बताऊंगी कि कौन से टाइप ऑफ क्वेश्चंस आते हैं और क्वेश्चंस कौन से कॉन्सेप्ट पे आते हैं और हम उस पे बहुत ज्यादा ध्यान देंगे. ओके, तो माय सेशन विल जनरली स्टार्ट विद दिस. ओके, चलो ठीक है. उसके बाद हम क्या पढ़ने वाले हैं? ड्यूरिंग द लेक्चर we will study from these notes. So if you see, they are all colorful notes. Okay, यहां पर सबसे पहले मैंने स्टार्ट किया है by giving you the important definitions. Okay, so definition section 2 clause A, clause B, clause C. Why are we studying these definitions? ऐसा तो ही क्वेश्चन थोड़ी ना आने वाला है. अरे बट व्हाट इफ यू नीड टू राइट द डेफिनेशन इन एन आंसर? आपको पता तो होना चाहिए. And one day before the exam, if you have a list of all the definitions, it becomes so easy for you to revise. So these notes have been prepared keeping exam point of view. Okay, पूरा exam point of view से notes बने हैं. तो exam oriented batch है, तो exam point of view में क्या important है, how this will help you, पूरी training आपको मिलेगी हमारे lectures में. सो सेक्शन 2 क्लॉज ए, क्लॉज बी, क्लॉज सी, क्लॉज डी, हर डेफिनेशन हमने यहां पर लिखी है. सबसे पहले तो हम डेफिनेशंस पढ़ेंगे, समझेंगे. ओके, सो दीज आर द डेफिनेशंस. यहां पर मैंने उनकी शॉर्ट में इक्वेशन भी दी है आपको. आफ्टर वी डिस्कस द डेफिनेशन, देन वी विल स्टार्ट विद द कॉन्सेप्ट एक्सप्लेनेशन. जैसे मैंने यहां पर सबसे पहले लिया है व्हाट इज enforceability. And it is important for exam because I have already identified that the concept of enforceability is important from case-based question point of view. So whenever we discuss this, हम उसको इतने अच्छे से पढ़ेंगे because we know कि इस पे question आने वाला है and we need to learn this. Okay, now सबसे पहले we will discuss what is the definition of agreement. Agreement के बाद what is a contract. अगर आपको ये समझ में आ जाता है, enforceability हमने डिस्कस कर ली, then now comes the time when you need to learn what is enforceability. तो एग्जाम में क्या लिखना है ये कैसे मालूम पड़ेगा आपको जब तक मैं बताऊंगी नहीं. तो दिस इज हाउ आई हैव इन्फॉर्म्ड यू कि देखो बच्चों, एनफोर्सेबिलिटी में ये सारे पॉइंट्स हमको इंक्लूड करने हैं. इफ क्वेश्चन इज आस्क्ड ऑन एनफोर्सेबिलिटी, दिस इज व्हाट यू नीड टू राइट एज इंट्रोडक्शन. देन वी विल डिस्कस द केस. तो लेक्चर के स्टार्टिंग में मैंने आपको बता दिया कि इस चैप्टर में से क्या टाइप के क्वेश्चंस आएंगे, क्वेश्चंस कौन से कॉन्सेप्ट पे पूछे जाएंगे, फिर हम पढ़ लेंगे डेफिनेशंस, देन वी विल स्टडी द एसेंशियल एलिमेंट्स लाइक फॉर दिस पर्टिकुलर यूनिट. सो ऑल द एसेंशियल एलिमेंट्स आर लिस्टेड ओवर हियर. इसका फायदा क्या होगा? देखो, एग्जाम ओरिएंटेड बैच है तो नोट्स भी एग्जाम पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से बने हैं. कैसे? मैक्सिमम मार्क्स आर गिवन फॉर राइटिंग द हेड पॉइंट्स इफ योर हेड पॉइंट्स आर करेक्ट. अगर आपके हेड पॉइंट्स अप्रोप्रिएट हैं, दिस यू कैन राइट इन योर ओन वर्ड्स. नाउ हाउ विल यू लर्न द हेड पॉइंट्स? दिस इज अ लिस्ट ऑफ द हेड पॉइंट्स. है कि नहीं? बढ़िया नोट्स है एकदम. So two parties. What are the essential elements? What if a theory question is asked? What are the essential elements? मेरे पास सारे essential elements रटे हुए हैं. कैसे? Two parties, proper offer, acceptance, intention to create legal relation, free consent. मुझे सारे essential elements ये left hand margin में ही लिखे हुए मिल गए. I just need to go through this list one day before the exam and all the head points of essential elements will be revised. So this is how we are going to study. Now, this is the explanation जो हम lecture में पढ़ेंगे. We will discuss the case law also. Okay, so I have mentioned the case law also. Ma'am, but you are not given the explanation. Arey, you are not supposed to write the explanation in the exam. Only name is required. But sometimes, ma'am, I have seen in the study material or in RTP, MTP, they have explained the case law. But that you can write in your own words. वो learn करने की जरूरत नहीं है. So once you know the name, name needs to be learned. नेम अगर आ गया, फैक्ट्स कैन बी रिटन इन योर ओन वर्ड्स. दैट इज वाई लर्न करने की जरूरत ही नहीं है. फैक्ट्स कैन बी रिटन इन योर ओन वर्ड्स. ओके, एंड मेन मेरी टेक्स्ट बुक तो आपके पास है ही है. मेन टेक्स्ट बुक में पूरा एक्सप्लेनेशन बैल्फर वर्सेस बैल्फर का दिया है मैंने. ओके, नाउ दीज आर द कीवर्ड्स ड्यूरिंग द लेक्चर. Okay, during the lecture I will make you highlight. Okay, during the lecture we will highlight the keywords, the key phrases, the important section numbers, and you need to learn only those section numbers. बस और कुछ learn करने की जरूरत नहीं है. Keywords क्या होते हैं, phrases क्या होते हैं, क्या लिखना चाहिए, all that will be given during the lecture. So here to show you, I have already highlighted the keywords for you. These are the keywords. This you need to write in your answer. सिर्फ keywords लिखे तो भी चलेगा. So this is how we are going to study. अच्छा, main focus हमारा किस चीज पर होने वाला है? Main focus is on writing practice. Okay, students, this exam oriented batch is going to be very different from any other revision session that you have attended. Guaranteed बोल सकती हूँ. क्यों? Theory तो revise होगी, साथ में क्लास के अंदर, क्लास में ही आप मेरे साथ writing practice करोगे. How are you supposed to write the answer? You will divide your answer into 4 parts: provisions, facts, analysis, and conclusion. Students को यही पता नहीं लगता है, ma'am, what is to be written in provisions, how much should we write, what should be written in facts of the case, analysis, and conclusion. Did you notice over here I have left more space in provisions? Because in this particular answer more weightage is given to provisions and less weightage is given to analysis. शुरू में आपको बस एक आइडिया चाहिए. एक बार आपको आइडिया आ गया, then you can answer any question. So more importance is given to provisions. Then you will write analysis. That is the second most important. This, I don't think there is any marks for facts of the case. वो तो you can write in your own words. It is just paper presentation and 2 lines of conclusion. So in the lecture, during the lecture, we will have writing practice. Now, during the lecture, how are we going to write and practice? See, ये notes तो आपके पास already हैं. Okay, so during the lecture you will keep these notes with you. I will ask you, okay, come on, tell me, what should we write in the provisions? Okay, you will answer. I will only sit as a moderator. Revision आपकी है, exam आपको लिखना है. I am going to train you. I am not going to give you the answers. There is no spoon feeding over here. Okay, I will train you on how to write the answers. Now, provisions में you will tell me. That is why I am integrating Zoom, because I want it to be an interactive session. You will tell me, ma'am, these are the points that we will write. Okay, so you will tell me what is to be written. Okay, voice is not coming. Sahil, नहीं सुनाई दे रहा है क्या? Others, can you hear me? Others, can you hear me? Others, can you hear me? because over here everything seems proper. Others can hear. Okay. All right. Others can hear me. Sahil, maybe at your end there is some voice issue. Please check. Okay. So in this exam oriented batch, you will tell me, I'm not going to say, I will only guide you on what should be the what are the pointers that should be written. Okay, so after you tell me that, ma'am, we will include these points, all right, I will then write it, then we will read the model answer. Okay, I will provide you the model answer also, then we will compare. You will realize, ma'am, this is what I did not write. I did not write this point. ये तो मैंने include ही नहीं किया था इसमें. धीरे धीरे आपको आइडिया आने लग जाएगा कि हाँ, आप कहाँ पर मिस्टेक कर रहे हो, क्या आप इंक्लूड कर रहे हो, क्या नहीं इंक्लूड कर रहे हो. देन यू नीड नॉट रेफर द मॉडल आंसर, आपका आंसर मॉडल आंसर ही बन जाएगा, गारंटीड. ठीक है. सो दिस इज द format that I'm going to follow. Then we will write facts of the case, analysis and conclusion. You will tell me कि क्या लिखना चाहिए. I will simply write and I will moderate you. I will correct you. ये सही है, ये नहीं है, ये लिखना चाहिए, वो नहीं लिखना चाहिए. That I will do. But I'm not going to spoon feed you. Okay. This is the second question. Again, we will follow the same format: provisions, facts, analysis and conclusion. So this will complete my essential elements of a वैलिड कॉन्ट्रैक्ट. उसके बाद जो हमारा सेकेंड पॉइंट होगा, दैट इज क्लासिफिकेशन ऑफ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट. अगेन वी हैव क्लासिफिकेशन अकॉर्डिंग टू वैलिडिटी. वी विल स्टडी द एंटायर थियोरी पॉइंट्स. इन दैट आई विल मेक यू हाईलाइट द कीवर्ड. सो वॉइड मीन्स इट इज नॉट एनफोर्सिएबल बाय लॉ, इट हैज नो लीगल इफेक्ट, इट इज अ नलिटी, इट इज एज इट देयर इज नो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट एट ऑल. सेक्शन 2 क्लॉज जे डिफाइंस वॉइड कॉन्ट्रैक्ट. ये तो हमने ऑलरेडी पढ़ लिया होगा डेफिनेशन. इट इज वैलिड व्हेन एंटर्ड. सो हाउ विल वी मेक नोट्स? लेफ्ट हैंड मार्जिन is always blank because I prefer making notes in the left hand margin. So at the time of entering the contract, okay, so at the time of entering into a contract, the contract is valid, but later on, due to certain circumstances, later on the contract becomes void. Okay, so later on, due to certain circumstances, the contract becomes void. So these are small notes which we will make during the lecture. Okay, so at the time of entering into the contract is valid, but later on, due to certain circumstances, the contract becomes void. Then what is void agreement? Void agreement means it is void ab initio. जब खुद लिखोगे ना तो writing connects your mind, immediately याद हो जाता है, write and practice हो जाता है. So it is void ab initio. It is void that is unenforceable right from the beginning. So this is the key word. It is unenforceable right from the beginning. तो देखो यहाँ पर void contract भी था and void agreement भी था, दोनों हमने यहाँ पर ही पढ़ लिया. And that is the difference between also ना, void contract and void agreement का difference between भी हो गया. Voidable में क्या होता है? In case of voidable, the aggrieved party, this is the use of my left hand margin. The aggrieved party has two options. The first option is to treat the contract as valid. Second option is to cancel the contract. But what is a better word for cancelling the contract? It is to rescind the contract. Another word is to repudiate the contract. So these are better words. In case he cancels the contract, the benefit shall be restored. This is given under section 64. Okay, जो भी cancellation कर रहे हो उसके extra points क्या है? Whatever I am cancelling, this must be within a reasonable time. Okay, it must be within a reasonable time. Okay, तो जो भी हम cancel कर रहे हैं, that will be within a reasonable time. So these are notes. Now let us see कि क्या यही notes हमारे textbook में है. Okay, so what is the meaning of voidable contract? It is voidable, enforceable at the option of one party but not at the option of the other party. It means it is voidable मतलब aggrieved party के पास वो option है. Then until the contract is avoided or rescinded, it is considered as valid. So you have two options: either treat the contract as valid or cancel the contract. Cancellation must be within a reasonable time. You can also add over here that the contract remains valid till cancelled or rescinded. it remains valid till cancelled or rescinded. तो आपने notice किया होगा, we have highlighted not only the keywords but we have also prepared last minute revision notes. Okay, so it is a valid contract. You can cancel, either treat it as valid or cancel it. Benefit will be restored, section 64. Cancellation जो कर रहे हो वो reasonable time में करना चाहिए, and the contract remains valid till it is rescinded. This option is available only and only with the aggrieved party. It is not available with the other party. In case of contracts caused by where the consent is obtained by coercion, undue influence, fraud, misrepresentation, the contract is voidable. But if it is obtained by mistake, then the contract is void. Okay, ये सब तो आपको already पता होगा, but एक तरीके से वो highlight हो जाएगा. You will also understand how to prepare revision notes for you. Okay, so this is what we are going to do during the lecture. Again, after we complete the concept, these are small author notes which I have mentioned कि section 64 और 65 में क्या लिखा है. Section 65 is important for exam, that is why we have highlighted. इस पे आपको case based question आ सकता है. A question may not be asked on section 65, but I feel section 65 will have to be mentioned in some of the answer. मतलब जहां पर आपको रिस्टोरेशन ऑफ बेनिफिट लिखना है, उधर कोट करना है सेक्शन 60, उसके ऊपर कोई अलग से क्वेश्चन नहीं आएगा आपको, बट ये लिखना पड़ेगा आपको सेक्शन 65. ओके, आफ्टर दिस अगेन हमारी राइटिंग प्रैक्टिस आ गई, ये हम क्लास में ही करने वाले हैं. ओके, सो ओवर हियर आई हैव आइडेंटिफाइड 3 क्वेश्चंस which we will solve in the class itself. मैम ये तो आपने फॉर्मेट नहीं लिखा है because these are very very small questions. ये बहुत छोटे मोटे क्वेश्चंस है, इसमें फॉर्मेट आपको बनाने की जरूरत नहीं है. अच्छा, हाउ टू राइट डिफरेंस बिटवीन, डू वी नीड टू गिव द हेडिंग्स? यस, यू नीड टू गिव द हेड पॉइंट्स ऑल्सो. तो मैंने आपके लिए एक स्ट्रक्चर बनाकर रखा है. इन द क्लास वी विल ओनली फिल दिस स्ट्रक्चर. ओके, दिस इज लाइक अ प्रोफॉर्मा विच आई हैव प्रिपेयर्ड. क्लास में हम उसको फिल करेंगे, फिल करते करते हमारा रिविजन भी हो जाएगा. सो दिस विल कंप्लीट द नेक्स्ट चैप्टर. एंड स्टूडेंट्स, दिस इज our exam oriented batch. Quick revision of all the concepts, question answer discussion, writing practice. After every act, like after our contract act is over, there will be a live test. Live test means you will come as if you are attending the class. You will come, write the paper for half an hour, 45 minutes, whatever time I have given you. Okay, mostly it will be for 1 hour because contract act is a very vast vast act. So act wise tests will be conducted, 1 hour test. You will come, you will write live, so you will get a practice of mock test also. After you finish that, we will discuss your performance. Papers will be checked and we will discuss your performance. BCR format discussion, we will do a BCR format discussion in the end, and of course doubt solving during the lecture itself, because it is going to be two-way interaction. It is not going to be where only I am talking and you are listening. No, you will be given an opportunity to use the audio and clear all your doubts. Now, another question which students were asking me, ma'am, is the lecture going to be in Hindi English mix or English? Now, I always feel, students, that if you listen in English, if you start processing in English, you will be able to write better in English. That is what I feel. Because what happens if you listen in Hindi, you process in Hindi, translate Hindi into English, you make a mess of law paper. So I always prefer to listen in English, process in English, write in English. That was what I feel. But again, it depends on the admissions. If most of the students feel that, ma'am, we are comfortable with Hindi English, we will do that. If students say that, ma'am, we are going to write the paper in English and we are all able to understand English, why not study in English itself? So if the batch feels that we should conduct the lectures in English, definitely it will be in English only. Okay, so it depends on the demand of students. So guys, this was my approach. This is going to be my approach in the exam oriented batch. These are the notes which you will get. So a list of section numbers. First, I will teach you the section numbers in a story format. Then we will go through each concept. Like here we have started with nature of contract, first unit. what are the types of questions asked in the exam, then what are the definitions, essential elements, all the essential elements are given. After that, writing practice, then we will again go through the classification of contract, we will make last minute revision notes. If you don't want to write during the lectures, you can watch the recordings, you can write comfortably, peacefully. आपको लगता है मैम अभी बहुत घाई घाई में लिखने हो जाएगा, आप लिख लो, फिर हम रिकॉर्डिंग में देख के वो राइटिंग कर लेंगे नीटली. यू कैन डू दैट, यू आर गोइंग टू गेट अ बैकअप ऑल्सो. नो नीड टू राइट ड्यूरिंग द लेक्चर. लेक्चर में समझ लो, लेक्चर में लिखने में टाइम मत डालो, डिस्ट्रैक्ट मत हो, सब कुछ मिलने वाला है आपको. रिकॉर्डिंग में जाके देख लो, नीटली लिख लो, वो सेकेंड रिविजन हो जाएगी आपकी. हियर यू कॉन्सेंट्रेट ऑन अंडरस्टैंडिंग द कॉन्सेप्ट, बिकॉज लेक्चर्स आर गोइंग टू बी वेरी प्लान्ड. तो कोई ऐसा इधर उधर भागना नहीं होगा, प्लान्ड लेक्चर्स होंगे, सब कुछ प्रॉपरली होगा. आपको रिकॉर्डिंग भी मिल जाएगी आफ्टर द लेक्चर इज ओवर. वी विल मेक नोट्स, वी विल हाईलाइट द कीवर्ड्स, एंड मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंटली राइटिंग प्रैक्टिस. ओके, राइटिंग प्रैक्टिस मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट. और आंसर आप ही मुझे बताओगे. यू विल टेल मी पॉइंटर्स टू बी रिटन, मैं सिर्फ लिख के आपको करेक्ट करूंगी, मॉडरेट करूंगी कि सही जा रहे हो कि गलत जा रहे हो. कॉन्फिडेंस बूस्टर बैच है स्टूडेंट्स ये लाइव. मैं तो इसको एग्जाम ओरिएंटेड बैच बोलती हूँ, मैं तो इसको कॉन्फिडेंस बूस्टर बैच ही बोलती हूँ. ओके, यस. हाउ लॉन्ग विल दीज लेक्चर्स टेक टू फिनिश? माई टारगेट इज 30 hours. Okay, my target is 30 hours. So I am targeting 15 days, 2 hours. But sometimes you know टेस्ट वगैरह में थोड़ा टाइम लग जाता है, तो मे बी 2-5 एक्स्ट्रा हो जाएगा फॉर टेस्ट, दैट इज इट. बट माई टारगेट इज 2 hours every day. We will meet, we will discuss the chapter. एंड एक आध दिन उधर अगर कम ज्यादा हो गया, आई डोंट माइंड, बिकॉज आई वॉन्ट यू टू बी सेटिस्फाइड. टाइमिंग विल बी इवनिंग, because I think during the day students are busy with other tasks. So evening time हम रखेंगे. But again, once the batch starts, if students feel कि नहीं मैम हमको ये time ज़्यादा रख रहा है, I am very flexible with it, no problem, we can adjust the time. But मेरा अभी तक फिलहाल planning है that we will keep the batch in the evening. Most probably it will be 6 to 8. Okay, so 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. that is what I am targeting. 6 to 8. So वो लंच डिनर के भी पहले हो जाएगा. एंड 6 to 8 इज अ टाइमिंग व्हेन जनरली यू नो स्टूडेंट्स आर फ्री. समझ में नहीं आता अभी क्या करें, तो लेक्चर अटेंड कर लो, 8 o'clock को खत्म हो जाएगा. यू टेक योर डिनर, थोड़ा ब्रेक भी हो जाएगा, देन यू कैन रिवाइज व्हाट वी स्टडीड ड्यूरिंग द लेक्चर. 1 hour 2 hours आप रिविजन करके देन यू कैन गो टू स्लीप, यू कैन वाइंड अप योर डे. ओके, so we will keep the batch at in the evening 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. That is our target. So students, this is going to be my approach from tomorrow. Okay, from tomorrow we will start our revision. Okay, these are few demo lectures which I have planned. Okay, so from tomorrow, that is 24th of September, from tomorrow we are starting with our first lecture. Do one thing, I'm sharing a link with you. Go and download this PDF from there. Okay, go to the e-note section of my website. Okay, go to the e-note section of my website. I'll share the link with you. Go to the e-note section of my website. This is the link. Download this PDF. I have uploaded the PDF, exam oriented batch demo lecture 1 and 2. Save that drive link. Okay, save that drive link, because demo lecture 3 and 4 notes will also be uploaded in that drive link. Okay, so please save that drive link, and demo lecture notes will be uploaded in that link. You can go and download that link from the e-note section of my website. My website is capreetiagarwal.com. You can also enroll for the exam oriented live batch. I will share the link of the live batch with you. You can enroll for that live batch. Lectures are starting from 29th of September. Okay, guys, lectures are starting from 29th of September. You will get notes. These are the notes. I have given you the sample also. You will get these notes. You can enroll. Lectures are starting from 29th. Batch commences from 29th September. Okay. So tomorrow again, we will meet for a live session. All right. I will see you tomorrow at 7 o'clock. Okay. So tomorrow again, we meet and we will discuss the essential elements in detail. Okay. We will discuss the essential elements, definitions, and we will also answer these two questions. Okay. So tomorrow at 7 o'clock, I will be starting with my first lecture on Contract Act. We will discuss the definitions and we will also discuss the essential elements of a contract and we will solve